Documents related to the late convict or convicted sex offender. On Friday, the Justice Department published a new and final cache of documents under a law that was passed in November last year, mandating the release of all records related to Epstein.
The latest release of Epstein-related documents has once again shaken public confidence and reignited global debate about power, influence, and accountability. Just when many believed the case had revealed all its secrets, a massive new disclosure has introduced millions of pages of fresh material. Instead of closure, these documents have reopened difficult questions about how Jeffrey Epstein maintained his influence for so long, and why so many warning signs failed to result in stronger action. On January 30th, 2026, the U.S. Department of Justice released more than 3 million pages of documents connected to Jeffrey Epstein. This massive disclosure included investigative records, internal communications between agencies, scheduling logs, and detailed metadata spanning decades. In addition to written documents, officials confirmed the release of over 2,000 videos and nearly 180,000 images as part of the transparency process required by federal law. Authorities described the release as the conclusion of a comprehensive review intended to provide transparency to the public. However, nearly 200,000 pages were withheld or heavily redacted due to legal privileges and privacy concerns. The scale of the disclosure is unlike anything previously seen in a criminal case of this magnitude. What was once viewed as a single criminal investigation has now been revealed as a sprawling archive documenting Epstein's interactions with institutions and powerful individuals over many years. The files not only detail his criminal activities, but also show how law enforcement, legal authorities, and elite social networks intersected with him. The result is a complex and unsettling portrait of influence, access, and missed opportunities. Despite official claims that transparency has been achieved, critics argue that the reality is far more complicated. The documents are technically public and searchable, yet their overwhelming volume makes meaningful analysis extremely difficult. Many files lack context, and inconsistent formatting adds to the confusion. Lawmakers and watchdog groups have described the release as an example of obfuscation by scale, suggesting that the sheer quantity of information makes it harder for the public to understand the full picture. While officials insist they have complied with transparency laws, many observers believe true clarity remains elusive. One of the most controversial aspects of the release has been the handling of victim information. Shortly after the documents went public, serious redaction failures were discovered. Several files contained names, contact details, and financial information linked to survivors of Epstein's abuse. Attorneys representing victims reported that at least 31 individuals who were abused as minors had their identities exposed due to incomplete redactions. Some survivors later reported receiving harassment and unwanted contact after their information appeared online. The Department of Justice was forced to remove thousands of documents from its website to correct the errors. Although officials acted quickly once the issue became public, the damage had already been done. Victim advocacy groups strongly criticized the mishandling, calling it one of the most severe violations of survivor privacy in recent history. For many survivors, the incident reinforced long-standing concerns that transparency efforts often overlook the emotional and personal impact on those directly affected. Beyond the redaction controversy, the documents reveal the extraordinary reach of Epstein's network. Emails, calendars, and internal communications repeatedly reference individuals from finance, technology, politics, and global high society. Officials have stressed that inclusion in the documents does not imply criminal wrongdoing. Many individuals appear only through indirect references or unverified claims. Nevertheless, the density of influential names highlights how deeply Epstein was embedded within elite circles. The files show that Epstein actively sought connections with powerful individuals. Scheduling records and correspondence reveal repeated efforts to arrange introductions and maintain relationships with decision-makers. He positioned himself as a connector who could provide access, opportunities, and information. This strategy allowed him to cultivate credibility and maintain relevance even after his 2008 conviction. When someone appears regularly alongside influential figures, institutions often treat them cautiously. In Epstein's case, that perception may have shielded him from deeper scrutiny for years. One of the most significant revelations involves documents from 2007 suggesting federal investigators once considered pursuing a much broader prosecution. A drafted indictment accused Epstein and 3 unnamed associates of conspiring to traffic 19 young girls between 2001 and 2005. Ultimately, this indictment was never filed. Instead, Epstein reached a controversial non-prosecution agreement with federal prosecutors. He avoided federal charges and served just 13 months in state prison. The newly released records confirm that a more aggressive legal path was once possible but never taken. This revelation raises an uncomfortable question. What might have been prevented if that earlier case had moved forward? After serving his sentence, Epstein returned to elite social circles and continued to cultivate relationships with influential individuals. The documents show that his presence remained normalized in environments where power and influence converge. The idea that a convicted offender could regain such access has intensified criticism of the institutions involved. The release also includes communications referencing numerous public figures across politics and business. Officials have repeatedly emphasized that many references are incidental and do not indicate wrongdoing. Even so, the presence of these names has fueled intense public discussion. Some documents show Epstein attempting to connect prominent individuals with social events or professional opportunities. In many cases, those mentioned have denied any meaningful relationship with him. Their responses highlight the difference between documented contact and proven involvement in criminal activity. Among the more unusual revelations are documents suggesting Epstein may have claimed to have fathered children. Diary entries and messages reference a woman who alleged she gave birth to his child around 2002. Additional communications appear to congratulate him on the birth of a supposed baby boy. These claims quickly spread online after the release, generating widespread speculation. However, no verified DNA evidence supports the idea that Epstein had any children. His family members have publicly denied the claims. Experts note that the presence of such documents demonstrates how unverified information can gain attention when released alongside authentic records. The files also reveal Epstein's continued efforts to connect with influential figures in the technology and business sectors. Emails show him attempting to arrange meetings and visits with prominent entrepreneurs and executives. Some correspondence suggests invitations to social gatherings at his properties. Those named in the communications have denied visiting his private island or participating in inappropriate activities. While the documents do not establish criminal conduct, they demonstrate how actively Epstein pursued relationships with powerful individuals even after his conviction. Politically, the release has generated significant attention due to the number of references to prominent leaders. Thousands of documents include mentions of high-profile figures in various contexts, including contact records and media references. Authorities have emphasized that these mentions are often incidental or unverified. Still, the volume of references ensures continued scrutiny and debate. The documents provide a detailed look at overlapping social circles during the 1990s and early 2000s, before many associations became controversial.